Welcome to the only real estate podcast worth listening to, with your hosts Nick Good, Matt Kelderman, and Brian Force. Combined, they have 26 years of experience and have sold over 1,500 homes. Join them each week as they bring you everything you need to know about real estate.
Any great customer service experience you've had has probably involved more than one person, right?
Yep.
When you go stay at the Ritz-Carlton, the owner of the hotel doesn't bring you towels.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And if you're like me and who's like super bitchy when he stays at hotels and calls the front desk because he wants, every 5 minutes because he forgot his toothbrush and then he also forgot his toothpaste.
Dive hotels and they wouldn't do that anyway.
Right? Like I've had great experiences because a team of people is helping me. Not only the image of a team is helping me, but an expert in everything that they do is helping me. And that has made my relationship with my clients so much better.
Yeah.
I would say in response to that, looking at another industry, if you go to a restaurant, right, and you're getting great service, so you have a fantastic server taking care of you. When the chef or the manager comes by and asks you how your meal was, it is way more impactful than any time that the server asks you if they can help you
Absolutely.
with anything. And so I liken it to that is it's not that you sacrifice the relationship, you get to relate to them in a way that is outside the transaction or the transactional norm.
100%.
Like any other agent is going to communicate to them in all of the areas that you said. So now, how do you just get to communicate to them one time with something that's different and it's an added extra value?
And
It's
then-
like the manager coming by the table.
And then the flip side is, what if you went to a restaurant where the manager was also your waiter and cooked the food? You'd be like, this is a weird restaurant.
Yeah.
And it would take forever to get anything else done, right?
Exactly.
Because
you
here's-
could be the only customer at a time.
Of course. I'm up against another agent listing right now where the agent's value prop is I'll show up for every single showing. And I looked at the seller, I was like, you know how freaking annoying that's going to be for the buyers to have your listing agent walking around pointing out the most obvious shit in the entire, you don't need to do any of that stuff. It's not a value proposition to waste your time.
No.
It's just not.
Plus, what does that show about how much production he's doing?
Exactly. How many listings can you sell if you're servicing every single one of them from the second the pen hits the paper until the closing table, every single aspect?
And
But the
to all
consumer doesn't
showings.
care about that.
They don't.
No.
So everything at the end of this is we have the great stories to support that you can actually hand it off.
Yeah.
But it's setting the expectations with your client. Again, it's just like in the agent world, they come in when they join a team or join anything, they want to know what happens next.
Yeah.
And so it's the handoff. And where I was one of the kind of probably the first ones, at least in DPR, Dallas Preston Road, that was kind of handing this off. And it's through trial and error, through lots of unhappy clients in the very beginning because I didn't set that expectation tone. Right? So we have it, in our training, and even when I'm running one today, I'd be like, Tommy, when you sign this, we upload it in our system. Duncan's going to call you. He's going to do the introduction. He's going to do the one that schedules the photos and the photography. And then after that, once we go live, you're going to get a call every Thursday. Doesn't mean that you can't reach out to us beforehand if you have questions. We'll be happy to answer your questions. And we have a team behind that can answer 99.9% of them. Once we get a contract in, Stephanie, who's negotiated thousands of contracts, this is her sole job, is to negotiate contracts. She's gonna give you a call and set it up for the best success, which is meaning you're going to get the best offer for that, right? We want to make sure you're winning. Then she's going to negotiate repairs. Here's the thing. If you hear from me before we get to closing, that means something bad's happened.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear from me. So then I paint that picture of success. And so what's going to happen after that is once we get that great contract, we're going to go to closing. You're going to be happy. You're going to get a big old check, right? And then we're gonna take a photo together. You're going to be smiling. You're going to be holding up one of our famous The Good Home Team T-shirts. And then I'm going to ask you for two things. I'm going to ask you for a review and a referral. And that's as long as your team executes. Where the ball gets dropped is if your team doesn't execute exactly what you said is going to happen.
Well, I would say I come from a real estate family, right? My mom and dad have been around. I think my dad got his broker's license in '83, and I used to have this all the time conversation with my dad, and my dad had a really hard time handing stuff off and understanding that concept. And his famous statement was people like me, they want to work with me. And I think the truth is, and it's what you just said, what people love is your standards.
Exactly, right?
They love your standard of service. They love the experience.